In this IGCSE business video, we're going to cover the importance of training and the methods of training. So that's going to cover the importance of training to a business and to employees, as well as the benefits and limitations of induction training, on-the-job training, and off-the-job training. So why is training important to a business? So training is going to decrease the chances of any accidents happening in the business. It will introduce a new process or a new equipment. It will help improve the opportunity for there to be any internal promotions. It will improve the efficiency of employees, and it will decrease the need for any supervision, and it will provide training for unskilled workers, and it's going to make them more valuable for the company. Now, why is training again important for a business? Because employees must be clear about the benefits of training. Otherwise, the employees, they're not going to work hard and they're not going to take the training seriously. Now, training can cover either short-term needs, such as a one-day course, or others may be more long-term, such as doing a full-on course, for example, an MBA. Now, what does training help achieve? Training is going to help change the attitude of employees and raise their awareness. It's going to help increase their knowledge. And training also increases skills. Now, what's induction training? So induction training is training that is given to a new employee. This will explain the firm's activities, their customs, their procedures, and is going to introduce them to their fellow workers. And the induction program, that can last a day or a few days. It will depend on the company and the job. Now, what's the advantages of induction training? So the worker is less likely to make any mistakes. It's going to help new employees settle into their job, and it is usually a legal requirement for employers to give their employees health and safety training at the start of their job. But what's the disadvantages of induction training? So it can delay the start of the new employee starting their job. It can be time consuming, and the business is paying the employee their wages, but they're not actually doing any work at that time. What's on-the-job training? Now, on-the-job training is when a person is trained by watching a more experienced worker do their job. So they are shown what to do. Now, this method of training is usually only suitable for unskilled or semi-skilled jobs. What's the advantages of on-the-job training? The employees can be trained to the specific needs of the business. Individual training is given, and the training is given to the workplace, in the workplace, so the employee does not need to be sent away. It costs less than doing off-the-job training, and it ensures that the worker is still being productive while they are training. What's the disadvantages of on-the-job training? The training may not be recognized as a training qualification outside of the business. The trainer will not be productive as usual because they'll be showing the trainee what to do instead of getting their job done. And the trainer may have bad habits that they may pass on to the trainee. What's off-the-job training? Off-the-job training is where the worker is going to go away from their workplace. This may be in a different building, or it may be in a training center. The techniques that will be used to train the workers will be a lot more different. It will be a lot more complex. And off-the-job training will involve classroom learning, using lectures, role plays, case studies. What's the advantages of having off-the-job training? So it will use expert trainers. They will have up-to-date business knowledge. There will be a broad range of skills that can be taught using techniques. Employees will become multi-skilled, which means that they can be moved around the company when a need arises for it. If the course is taught in the evening, it may be cheaper for the business as they can carry out normal duties during the day. The business will only need to pay for the course and they won't lose output of employees. However, what are the disadvantages of the off-the-job training? So if the employee is given additional qualifications, It means it can be easier for the employee to leave and find a better job. The costs for off-the-job training are high, and the employer will be paid wages, but no work will be done. What's the advantages of training for management? So it will give greater motivation and commitment from their employees, greater flexibility of workforce as they will be more multi-skilled. It will increase their productivity. It will improve their quality of output. It will improve customer service in the business. And the employees will be able to use new technology. However, what are the disadvantages of training for the management? There'll be loss of output while the employees are training. Employees may leave whilst they are trained, and other businesses may benefit from that training. It may raise the expectations from the employees that they are being promoted. And there's cost of training the employees. Now, what's the advantages of training for the employee? They may get an increased pay. It's easier for them to apply to jobs at other businesses. And there's improved chances of them getting a promotion. However, what are the disadvantages of training for an employee? They may be asked to undertake additional duties. They may be moved to a different job, or they may have to work in a different manner. Now let's have a go at an exam question. Outline one advantage and one disadvantage to ABP of using on-the-job training. Now remember, this is a 4-mark question. So give this video a pause right now and have a go at the question. Now, let's go through the possible exam question answer for this question. So remember, the exam question is outline one advantage and one disadvantage to ABP using on-the-job training. Now, this is a 4-mark question, which means that you will get 2 marks for the advantage and 2 marks for the disadvantage. Now, to get 4 marks in total per advantage and disadvantage, you need to get 1 mark for stating the knowledge. So for stating the advantage or disadvantage, you get 1 mark. And to get the second mark, you will have to explain and relate back to the case study. Now let's look at some possible advantages that you can write in this answer. So one advantage of ABP using on-the-job training is that some output can be produced while training. Now that's your first mark because you just stated the knowledge, you've stated the advantage. And to get the second mark, we're going to develop the answer. So might still be able to print some brochures. That's your second mark. So the full advantage would be that some output can be produced while training, so they might still be able to print some brochures. That's your 2 marks. Now another possible advantage you can write is it costs less than off-the-job training. That's your first mark for stating the knowledge, which might help him as he is a sole trader. That's your second mark because you've related back to the case study. So that's how you can get 2 marks for the advantage. Now, for the possible disadvantages that we can have. So the trainer may not have necessary skills. That's your first mark for stating the knowledge of the disadvantage. We're going to develop that answer and link back to the case study, and we're going to say for the new machine. That's your second mark. And then another possible disadvantage that you can have is that the trainer may not produce as much output. That's your first mark for stating the disadvantage. And we're going to develop that answer, and you're going to say, as he is teaching 6 employees. Second mark as you have related back to the case study. So remember that in this question, if you want to get your full 4 marks for stating the advantage and disadvantage, you need to have the knowledge. So state what the advantage or disadvantage is. And then the second mark will be developing the answer. So explaining and linking back to the case study. That is how you're going to get your full 4 marks for this question. Good luck. Subscribe to the channel for more videos and also follow the social media for more updates.